Hey, it's Dave from Cast Guitars. So we got all the parts for the Workhorse guitar. It's time to start getting into it and taking it apart. I think the first thing we'll do is we'll get the strings off it. We'll swap the tuners out. We'll see if the bridge fits on the posts that are in it. And as long as the posts that are in it are solid, then we're just going to leave them in. And we'll put the new bridge on and fit it and everything. And then we'll get into the pickups. But we'll get the tuner swapped, and we'll probably I'll shoot some video, and we'll just do a quick video. I'll speed it up, and we'll do like we've been doing for that, because that's a no-brainer. And I think once I get into the pickups, I'll do just a regular video so you can actually see what we're doing there. But in the meantime, I'll bring the camera closer. We'll open it up, we'll look at the wiring, and we'll pretty much look at every single detail on this, so you can see exactly the way they come before we start taking everything out. So we'll bring the camera closer, and that's what we'll do first. We don't need to pull the knobs, but I'm pulling them anyway just because then they're out of the way, and I might put gold knobs on or metal knobs. I'm not sure yet. But for now, we'll get them off. And I'll throw some across the floor. Why not? Okay. So let's open it up and give you a look at the wiring. And you'll see it's relatively normal for the most part. The only time that I see a pretty big difference on these is when you get something from overseas with active pickups, because they tend to wire them differently. They wire them so that they're running off the battery 24/7 rather than having them switched to the jack. So I always end up rewiring them when that's the situation. So there you go. And this is pretty common. They have shielded wire, which is cool, but it's just kind of a mess. They don't tie anything down, and I mean, you don't necessarily need to. I like to, because I have OCD, so this drives me nuts. But all in all, the soldering joints are usually relatively good, and they use shielded wiring, so they don't shield the cavity or anything, which I like to do. If you shield the cavity, you don't necessarily have to use the shielded wire, but I'll just see if I can get some of this out of the way, and we'll give you more of a close-up. Some of the grounding solder joints are a little gumball-ish, but for the most part, it's not horrible. I've seen worse on customer guitars from the USA. So not too bad. So we're going to, I'm guessing, that's switch, that's switch. Usually on these, the pickups are wired right to the pots, not up to the switch. And that appears to be, I believe that's the case on this one, which means this will be a pickup wire, and this will be a pickup wire. So these two will be the pickup wires. And then these two are probably going to come from the same place and run up to the switch. But we'll figure all that out when we go to do the pickups. And then there's a lot of ground. This is the ground from the bridge here, which I kind of wish I had a better angle on this, but just like any other guitar. And everything's kind of, that drives me nuts, everything's just kind of wound together. But what I like to do is I like to come in and do copper on everything, and then I can get rid of all these grounds that are jumpered from one pot to another. But this, it's not so bad because they have the shielded wire, so that's kind of how they're jumpering everything together. So, relatively simple. It'll be simple. We're going to pull off the pickup wires, take the pickups out, put the new ones in, and solder them in the same way. We're not doing any kind of coil splitting or anything like that. We're just doing basic wiring. So there's the wiring on this one. You got to see the insides of it now. I'll set the camera up differently so I can just get to work, and then we'll do some sped up video of the tuners and that kind of stuff, because you guys, I'm sure, already know how to do that. And then when we get to wiring the pickups, we'll slow it down again.